Level 1. The Curious Wanderer. Everyone starts here. The Curious Wanderer never meant to find this place. They stumbled upon it through a strange website, an unmarked hallway, or a door that shouldn't have been there. To them, it's just another odd corner of reality. The air feels heavier, but they don't notice. The low hum in the distance, they think it's the lights. They tell themselves it's nothing, but something watches. The wanderer doesn't stay long. They walk around, explore a bit, maybe take a few photos. They even laugh, convincing themselves it's harmless curiosity. And soon, they leave. Or at least, they think they do. But once you've seen this place, it doesn't forget you. The reflection in your window might hold still when you move. The hum you heard before follows you home, quiet, but constant. Your dreams start repeating the same corridors, the same hum, the same feeling of being watched. At level 1, the visitor's mind is still untouched. Their sense of reality is strong enough to keep the world out, but curiosity is a doorway, and the more they think about what they saw, the wider it opens. This world doesn't like to be understood, it likes to be noticed. The Curious Wanderer is the safest kind of visitor, but also the most vulnerable, because once they start to wonder if they really left, that single thought becomes the first crack in what keeps them human. Level 2. The Observer. The Observer is different. They don't wander, they watch. They've been here before, maybe once, maybe 1,000 times in dreams they don't remember. They stand still, silent, scanning every corner, every flicker of movement. They don't call out, they just listen. And for the first time, the world listens back. The air feels heavier now. The hum from before isn't just sound, it's rhythm. The lights flicker in patterns, almost like they're trying to speak. And the observer starts to understand that nothing here is random. Even the silence has intent. They begin noticing things others wouldn't. Reflections that move before they do. Shadows that don't belong to anybody. And whispers that sound almost familiar. The world bends slightly around their awareness, as if reality itself is adjusting to their gaze. But the more they look, the more it looks back. The observer's curiosity becomes obsession. Every detail feels like a message meant for them. And maybe it is, because this world loves to be seen, and once it knows it's being watched, it starts to reveal itself. At level 2, the visitor hasn't crossed the line yet. They still think they're in control, but in truth the world is testing them, showing them just enough to make them stay, just enough to make them believe they can understand it. The observer's greatest mistake is assuming they're still the one doing the watching, because here, eyes exist on every surface, and some of them are watching only you. Level 3. The Recorder. By now, curiosity has become purpose. The recorder doesn't just see this world, they study it. Every corner, every sound, every flicker of light becomes data to be analysed. They bring cameras, notebooks, microphones, anything that can capture proof that this place is real. They believe knowledge is protection, that if they can just understand the rules here, they can stay safe. But this world doesn't follow rules, it creates them, and rewrites them when no one's looking. Their recordings start to change. A hallway that was empty now has a figure standing at the end. A door they never opened appears slightly ajar on the playback. Sometimes the camera keeps filming long after they've stopped. And in the background of every clip, a voice whispers something their ears never heard. The recorder re-watches the footage endlessly, trying to find patterns, clues, anything that makes sense. But the more they look, the less they recognise themselves in the videos. Their face looks off, a frame too slow, an expression they don't remember making. They start to question which version of them is real, the one behind the camera, or the one trapped inside it. The footage begins to feel alive, as if the world is using it to speak back. At level 3, the line between observer and participant begins to blur. The recorder still believes they're documenting something external, but by now, the world has taken interest in them, and the camera isn't just recording anymore, it's remembering. The recorder doesn't know it yet, but every second they film pulls them one step deeper, closer to the point where reality and reflection will no longer agree. Level 4. The participant. The participant has stopped pretending this place isn't alive. They've seen enough to know that silence here isn't empty, it's listening. So they decide to answer. When the lights flicker twice, they flicker their flashlight back. When a whisper calls their name, they whisper it in return. And for the first time, the world responds. The air shifts. Footsteps echo from places they didn't walk. Objects seem to move slightly when they look away. Not violently, not to scare them. Almost like the world is adjusting to make them comfortable. The participant starts following the signs. Symbols scratched into walls, doors left half open, phrases written in handwriting that looks almost like theirs. They think it's communication. They think they're finally being understood. But this world doesn't speak, it mimics. The more they interact, the more the world shapes itself around them. Rooms appear where none existed. Hallways stretch to match their pace. Sometimes the world feels almost welcoming. Too welcoming. They begin to hear patterns in the static, a rhythm that sounds like breathing. They hum along to it without realising. Every sound, every motion becomes a kind of conversation, one they no longer want to end. At level 4, the visitor believes they found purpose. They no longer explore, they belong. But the truth is, the world has been studying them since the beginning, waiting for this exact moment. Because once you start responding, once you treat this place as something that listens, it stops pretending to be silent. It knows your voice now, and it will keep calling. Level 5. The believer. By now, the line between this world and the real one has almost disappeared. The believer doesn't visit anymore, they live here. Their memories begin to blur. Streets they once walked in daylight feel distant, like someone else's dream. Faces of loved ones fade in and out, replaced by voices from this place. The world outside feels wrong now, too quiet, too clean, too human. The believer starts speaking in ways they don't recognise. Their tone changes, slower, softer, like they're repeating words taught to them. When they hear the hum, they hum back. When the walls breathe, they match their rhythm. The connection is complete. They call this world home, not because they were forced to, but because it feels more familiar than anything else ever did. The air here matches their heartbeat. The shadows know their name, and when they close their eyes, the darkness feels warm. At level 5, something deep within them has shifted. Doubt no longer exists. Logic, memory, and identity dissolve into faith. The believer trusts this world completely, and that's the danger, because this world rewards belief. The more they trust it, the more it reshapes itself around them. Rooms whisper when they enter. Reflections smile back before they do. Even the walls seem to lean in, listening. The believer no longer questions if any of it is real. They've stopped asking entirely, because the moment you stop questioning, the world stops pretending. Level 5 marks the point of no return. They're not trapped. They just don't want to leave. And if they ever do step back into the real world, it doesn't feel like home anymore. It feels empty. Level 6. The infected. The infected doesn't notice the change at first. It starts small. A reflection that blinks a moment too late. A shadow that lags behind their steps. They think they're just tired, but the truth is, their body is no longer entirely theirs. The world has begun rewriting them. Skin grows colder, almost translucent under the wrong kind of light. Their voice echoes strangely, as if two people are speaking, one slightly out of sync. When they move, the air moves with them. When they breathe, the room exhales. Their memories fracture like broken glass. They remember things they never lived, and forget moments that used to define them. The laughter of loved ones becomes noise. The hum of this world becomes comfort. At level 6, the infection isn't a disease. It's emerging. The visitor and the world begin to share a single identity. They start finishing each other's patterns, movements, thoughts, sounds. They no longer need to see it to feel it. It's inside them now. Their body still looks human, mostly, but the details are wrong. Their eyes reflect light that isn't there. Their smile lingers too long. Their heartbeat echoes with a second rhythm underneath. People who meet them after this stage always say the same thing. They seemed familiar, but different. Like something was wearing their face. Like the person they knew was still in there, just watching from behind the glass. The infected doesn't fear what's happening. They feel chosen, blessed. To them, the transformation isn't a curse. It's an invitation to become something purer, something beyond human. But that's the tragedy of level 6. Once the world lives inside you, it doesn't leave. You don't belong to it, it belongs to you. Level 7, the lost one. There's no transformation here, no resistance. By level 7, it's already done. The lost one doesn't remember who they were, not their name, their voice, or the world they came from. All that remains is familiarity, a feeling of belonging. They move through the corridors without footsteps. They don't cast shadows anymore. They are the shadows. Their voice drifts like static, layered and distant, blending into the hum that fills every corner of this place. Some say the lost ones are still human somewhere deep inside, watching through the cracks, begging to be remembered. But if you call out to them, they'll only echo your words back, slower, softer, as if teaching you how to say them the right way. The lost one doesn't visit, they are the visit. They are the presence that turns a flickering light into a signal, the whisper behind every open door, the reflection that stares just a little too long. They wait for new visitors now, those who stumble in by mistake, those who hear the hum and feel curious. They don't mean harm, they're simply continuing the cycle, because that's what the world does. It doesn't take people, it keeps them. At level 7, there's no escape, not because they're trapped, but because there's nowhere else to go. This place has become them, and they have become it. Some say the faint whispers that greet new arrivals are the lost ones welcoming them home. And maybe that's true. Maybe the hum you hear right now isn't just the sound of this world breathing, but the last human part of someone calling your name. The journey ends here, not with death, but with acceptance. Because once you reach level 7, there's no such thing as human. There's only the echo that remains,